Hello everyone, how you doing? In this video, I like to talk about campus safety as well as other things. Now, in this video, I want to talk about the high school principal in Boston that was brutally assaulted by one of her students. But first, I want to let people know why I'm wearing this mask because obviously I'm inside a building that requires, everyone to wear a mask. So I want people to understand that. All right, so none of that stuff really, because remember, a mask is a mask, just like love is love. But anyways, you know, it's been a rough semester, for all schools, colleges, and universities, across the state of Massachusetts. It's been tough because, there's like racist attacks, sexual assaults, fights, violence, series of fights. It's been tough because, it's like the first academic semester to normal operations for the first time since the pandemic because most of us was already still doing remote learning and everything. Yeah, it was tough, and I know also, realized that the pandemic and its restrictions, you know, played a role in a lot of stress people have. Not to mention, it created a lot of challenges for everyone, especially towards families, relationships, marriages, friendships. Uh huh. It did. And also campus safety. Now, the reason why I'm more into campus safety, because it started in 2018, on October 22nd, 2018, because that's the day when Laura McCluskey was murdered outside her residence at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, because she found out that her ex-boyfriend not only lied about his name and age, he's also a registered sex offender on parole. But then when she found out about it, he's continued to stalk her, extort her, stand on the campus, and campus police and security failed to protect her. And also, I want to remind people that, it did really a lot of stress. So I want to talk about the principal right now in Boston. Now, from what I've heard, principal at a Boston high school was beaten unconscious by one of her students. But here's what I'd like to know is what led up to it. Because if so far it doesn't say what led up to the student and the principal confrontation. It didn't say. It's just saying that she's being charged for assault and battery, as well as charges as juvenile. And then when that was shortly after Michelle Wu has been elected as the mayor of Boston. Sorry about that. Got to fix my mask. So the thing is, people have asked Michelle Wu, does the incident change your mind? And she replied no, because she said there should be more resources, everything. She said the pandemic has created a lot of stress for a lot of people and everything. I agree with Michelle Wu on that. But I like to ask Mayor Michelle Wu. I'm like, if you don't want police officers in schools, then why not have security guards? Why not have security guards? I'm like, that's another good solution. Because I can understand police, everything like that, because of all the stuff that's going on across the nation surrounding cops. But why not have security guards? Because they could be another solution when it comes to like students transitioning to other classes. While they walk in the hallways, they're right there. If a fight breaks out, they can break it up. They can break it up if there's a fight in the hallway or anything like that. Because really, like I said, security guards, you know, they can replace like school resources officers. Because I've seen other high schools and other inner cities have security guards watching the halls and everything like that. Especially if they need to leave. Like students who are sent home or told to leave or be sent to the principal's office. There's security guards be called for that one. But there's been a series of a lot of things going on across schools, such as racism, domestic violence, sexual assaults. There's a lot of other things that's very concerning at all the schools, colleges, and universities across the state of Massachusetts, both public and private. Because at WPI, which is known for Worcester Polygraphic Institute, if I'm not mistaken, you know, five of their students have died of suicide. People are upset at the school about that because 5 students have passed away because they took their own lives. And people started doing like demonstration and rallies and everything because it's a tragedy statewide. It is. The thing is, I'm addressing my concerns about what can we do to make it better, because violence has no place in our schools. I'll say it again, violence has no place in our schools. And also, if people like having thoughts of suicide or attempting suicide, we shouldn't show disappointment. I'll say it again. If people are having thoughts of suicide or attempting suicide or saying they're going to do it, they shouldn't be stigmatized. You shouldn't be disappointed at them. You shouldn't be angry at them. And those people, they're not looking for attention. They're not attention seekers. Because they're just people that's going through a lot. And they feel they have no help. And we just got to remind people that it's okay to not be okay. We just have to remind people that. It's just so much going on. So much going on in the 2021 fall semester. So much. I know some people are using the article about the Boston principal, just to like set up a meeting, everything like that, which is a good thing. And yes, not just parents and education officials, also law enforcement across state of Massachusetts. Because we all need to get together, how to make things better for the 2022 spring semester statewide. We do, because it can be an in-person meeting, a Zoom meeting, or it can be both. We definitely need to have more meetings, have more conversations, have more demonstrations. I'm like, well, I know a lot of people don't want to keep doing this walkout and stuff like that because people are falling behind. They want to like catch up on some schoolwork and everything. That's completely okay. But it might be a good idea to set up a time for a meeting. What if it's in person or Zoom, or it could be both? Because that would be a good idea for all students, parents, education officials, as well as law enforcement talk to each other. Because we all need to come together as a community and talk. I'm like, yes, we may not agree with everything we see. We may not agree with our views, but it still helps to come together and talk. Where if it's in person, Zoom, or both, it's still a good idea to do it. It still is. I know some places require you to wear masks or any kind of face covering. But, there's a time where people can't wear because, they might have asthma or any kind of medical problems. But really, it's still a good idea to talk, like I said, whether it's in person, Zoom, or both. Everyone. Even if we don't agree with each other's views, it's still a good idea to get together and talk to each other. Because it's been a rough semester for fall 2021. I'll say it again. It still is a good idea for everyone to come together and talk and organize a meeting, whether if it's on Zoom, in person, or both. Because it really has been a rough 2021 fall semester. And let's hope the 2022 spring semester will be better. My thoughts go out to the principal, and please recover soon. Please get well soon. And my thoughts go out to the family of the 5 students at WPI that lost their lives to suicide. It's tough, especially for a person myself. I lost a few relatives to suicide. I lost some friends to suicide. It's been tough. And I feel for the people. Because I myself am a former Boston Public School student. I am. I know this video is not much or anything, but I'm just expressing myself, expressing my concerns. I'm like, there's no shame in that, because I'm not gonna let anyone discourage me. Because I'm not gonna let people who say I'm trying to create angst to discourage me. No, people say that to discourage me, and people say my YouTube channel name, say it's bizarre to because that person is obviously trying to discourage me. And people will say, oh, I'm ranting and everything. They even use that to discourage me. See, people will do whatever it takes to discourage you just from speaking out. But see, making this video proves that I am not afraid to speak out. I'm not. And of course I got my mask on. Because where I'm sitting right now at this place, masks are required. Because I agreed to wear a mask if I'm going to be filming right now, because places do have rules and they have a right to protect their employees as well as customers. So if you're gonna give me a problem about me wearing a mask while I'm making this video, something's wrong with you. Oh yeah, something's definitely wrong with you. Something clearly wrong with you. But this is part 1 of the video. Because I just want to talk more about, campus safety and everything like that. And part 2. So stay tuned. For those of you that supported me, I appreciate it. Be safe, be well. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you.